Hi, I am back for another week of the Grounded Kitchen. I'm so excited for what I have to share with you today. I have everything laid out and we are going to be diving deep into the topic of salads, which can seem really boring to some people, but if you set yourself up right, you can really enjoy salads as meals and you can have so much variety that you'll never get sick of them. So I hope today I will show you how to do salad in a jar. So using a mason jar, you can make salads ahead of time and keep them in the fridge for, I've had success for 4 days. 5, it gets a little iffy. So you can have salads in the fridge for 4 days and grab and go, and everything is in there. You don't have to mix or add anything to it. So I'm going to show you how to make that. I'm going to show you how to make really easy vegan salad dressings that are creamy and delicious. I want to talk about the different kind of stages that you can focus on with salad dressing depending on where you're at with your transition. So there's oil-based dressings that you can make, which are super, super delicious. And then there's fat-based dressings, which use like hemp seeds or tahini or things like that. And then there's oil-free dressings, which use fruit and vegetables as the base. So I'm going to talk about all 3 of those today. And I'm going to make a couple other salad recipes for you and show you how to switch things up so you can have a lot of variety with your salads. So I have some really cool tips and tricks that help for me personally, because I eat salads every day. Helps me to kind of satiate myself and keep the variety and the freshness available with salads. So that's today's topic. And I also want to show you the sauerkraut I made last week. Sorry, the lighting's a bit off again today. It's really bright in here with the sun, so it's a little bit hard to see. The camera's having a hard time, but hopefully the sun will go behind a cloud and that will make it better. So this was the sauerkraut I made last week. I'll post a picture later side by side. But it was only about filled up to there, and then it expanded, and it was really bright green last week, and now it's more of a yellow color. And I'm just gonna stay close to the camera for a minute and take you through it. So this is the first time I've checked it. I totally forgot about it until last night. I remembered, and then I looked at it in the cupboard, and I figured I'd just go over it today with you guys. So these cabbage leaves I stuffed on top weren't fully submerged in the liquid. So one of them has a teensy bit of mold on it, like a white type of mold, but nothing too serious. And there's absolutely no mold on the sauerkraut there. So it's totally good and fresh. I will give it a taste. Like I said, this is the first time. I haven't made sauerkraut either in a really long time. So I'm really curious to see how it is. I'm gonna dig a little. It's a little bubbly, which is good, fermenty. Smells a little like like what I remember my friend's grandma's house smelling like when I was a child. So not super appetizing, but I think it might taste okay. It's really good, like really delicious. It's a bit crunchy, a bit sour, and really, really tasty. So it smells worse than it tastes, I will say that. So now all I have to do is I just want to make sure I'm not going to use that dirty fork that I just ate off of, because that will spread bacteria. So you always want to use clean utensils. I'm going to stuff it back into the liquid so it's fully submerged, and put the lid on and then store it in the fridge now that it's fully fermented. It probably could go for another couple days, but I think it's good like this, and it'll probably ferment slightly in the fridge. So I'll put it away like that. So that was last week's sauerkraut we made. It was cabbage from my garden and salt, and that was it. That's the only ingredients in this, no water or anything else. You might notice I have a fresh haircut. I got my haircut yesterday, so I look really extra bald until it grows out for a couple of weeks. Okay, so let's dive into today's topic. Where do we want to start? Anyone have any suggestions on what they'd like to see first? I think what I'll do is the salad in a jar first and show you the tips to make that happen without the salad going bad. And then I'm gonna make the dressings and we will go from there. So I'm kind of coming at you in true mom fashion today, I'm not gonna lie. I'm super sleep deprived and a little scatterbrained, and I have pregnancy brain, which made me forget a couple ingredients while I was grocery shopping yesterday. So I feel a little bit scattered, but I feel like that's how most moms or busy people are. So we can all relate and we can just do the best we can with what we have going on, and that's what I'm gonna do today. So I'm going to make a salad in a jar based on the ingredients I have. So first step, I have a dressing that I made last night for supper, and which I can talk about more when I do the dressing portion. But for time purposes today, I'm going to use this in my salad in a jar. So step one with salad in a jar is dressing goes on the bottom. So that is step one. And step two is you want the heartiest, so either if you're doing any cooked component, so grains or beans or sweet potato or a hearty vegetable, that's what you're going to want to put next. So something that's not going to get deteriorated by the dressing. So you could do shredded carrot. I'm going to put some leftover brown rice and peas, which I made yesterday. So I made these last night for my salad to go with this dressing. So I'm going to put a couple scoops, and that will absorb some of the dressing. I'm going to eat this later today, so it won't be sitting in my fridge for days, unless I forget, which could very possibly happen. Okay, so I'm going to put a serving of that in the bottom, which looks great. So that's cooked brown rice with frozen peas stirred into it, which thawed. And then I'm going to put some, I need my cutting board. I'm going to put some celery. So you want to put hearty vegetables next, like I said. So I really like celery with this one. And I will add couple carrots, which I just picked from my garden right before I started this. So we have fresh garden carrots. I'm just gonna slice a couple of those up for the salad. So the trick is you want the lettuce to be the furthest away from the dressing as possible. So you want to stack up your jar with ingredients that aren't going to like I said, get deteriorated, so break down like the sauerkraut did, and get like soggy and mushy. You want things that are hearty and can stand up to the dressing. The more like vinegar-y things or acidic things you have in your dressing, the more it'll break it down. The more, if you have avocado or like a fruit and vegetable, that will start to go bad faster versus an oil or acidic based dressing. So I like, for salad in a jar, I tend to use more of the acidic or oil based dressings, whereas fresh salads I like to just do blended fruits and vegetables with a couple components added and eat that fresh because it tastes better that way. So there's that so far. And then I'm going to, I think the last thing, I'll maybe add a cucumber. So that again is a vegetable that's gonna be more susceptible to breakdown. So you want it higher up right below the lettuce. So the thing I can kind of chat about now while I have the time is using different tools to get different textures in your salad. So for instance, you could shred it. This is a little grater that I have, and it makes kind of matchstick type cuttings. And then I have a mandolin, which will very thinly slice something. So that makes, I like to do mandolin salads where I cut everything with a mandolin and it's just like very finely shredded or sliced vegetables. It's a really different experience versus a chunky chopped vegetable. And then you could also spiralize. So I have this spiralizer. Sorry for the lighting. I wish it wasn't so sunny out today, which is an odd thing to say. So this is a handheld spiralizer that I have. It was $10 from like Winners. And I have a couple other spiralizers I can quickly show you that I use less often because they're more of a hassle to clean. So if I'm having like company over and I need a lot of spiralized veggies, or I'm eating a huge salad with like a bunch of spiralized zucchini or vegetables, then I'll pull out the big guys, which are, and I've had all these kitchen tools for years. Like this I've had probably since 2011, and it's still in perfect condition, besides the odd vegetable, you know, like it's weathered a little bit. So this is the big spiralizer has different blades to do different styles. It has a spaghetti blade, a fettuccine blade, and a slicing blade. So I'm not going to use that today. And this is another spiralizer which does angel hair, and then if you flip the switch, it does slicing as well. So that one I use occasionally if I want like that really thin angel hair type one. But for most of the time, I do this guy, and I tend to prefer the thin side. There's a thin side and a thick side. So I'm going to use my bigger carrot. And for this salad, since it is kind of chunky, I'm going to do the thick side. Change things up on myself for once. So all you do is stuff your veggie in here that fits inside the hole, and then twist, and you get nice noodle-like shape. So like I said, it's going to be a really different experience eating that versus just a chopped up cucumber. So that's how I personally feel out kind of what I'm in the mood for every single night when I'm making my salad. And now that I'm pregnant, I eat them at different times of the day. I used to eat a salad for dinner every night. Now I eat them for lunch sometimes, which in our meal plan, most people enjoy salads for lunch. They're easy to grab on the go. They give you lots of energy, so they're nice to have as an addition for lunch. So I've been more into lunch salads lately. So there's that. And then I'm going to add greens. So you can add romaine, you can add arugula, spinach. I have some green leaf lettuce and purple lettuce from my garden. Again, what I find with the greens, which is something really important to note, is that certain dressings go with certain greens. So in my meal plans, I have dressings paired with certain greens for specific reasons. So certain things go really good with romaine, and then other dressings go really good with things like arugula, and then the more fragile lettuces like butter lettuce or green leaf lettuce, they tend to go with certain dressings as well. So that's something again to keep in mind when you're making salads. If you're making something that you're not enjoying, and most of us were raised on either like salad that came out of a bag, or like what's the iceberg lettuce with soggy tomatoes and a couple cucumbers and then Kraft Ranch dressing on it. That's not the salads I'm talking about. Those are not going to be nutrient dense, like hearty salads that are going to give you the energy and the nutrition that you need. So you really want to make sure that you're packing them with good quality ingredients and really good hearty things that are going to fill you up and satisfy you. So I'm going to add to this guy some romaine. So I'm just going to chop it medium chop and add that to, so you can stuff it as full as you want. You could do, like, you can really get packing it in there. I'll grab a couple more leaves and pack that in there. Hi, Violet. You want to come help? Oh, what were you doing outside? Cool. Okay, so that's it. That's my salad and jar. I'll come bring it around so the camera can see it better. So dressing on the bottom, then rice and peas, celery, carrot, cucumber noodles, and lettuce. So as you can see, the lettuce is not touching the dressing, and that's the key to make it last in the fridge. So you can put a lid on it, and then you are good. You could put that in your lunch box, and it can stay, if you keep it in the fridge, it'll stay for 3-4 days with no problem. The lettuce, if you use a metal knife, might go a little bit brown, but you can avoid that by tearing the lettuce or using a ceramic knife. Okay, so that's salad in a jar. Next, I'm going to talk about dressings, and I'm going to make a blueberry balsamic dressing with thawed frozen blueberries, balsamic vinegar, maple syrup, Dijon mustard, and hemp seeds. So really easy, and I'll quickly walk you through that, and we'll make a salad that's going to go on arugula with sunflower seeds and whatever else we want to add to it. Pardon? You want to go see Dad? Oh yeah, popcorn. It's our popcorn machine, air popper. Okay, I'm gonna make a dressing. You go hang out with Dad.
Yeah, eat popcorn.
Yeah, you'll eat popcorn when we're all done. Okay?
Yeah.
So I make all my dressings in the Magic Bullet. I don't make them in the Vitamix unless I'm making a huge bulk amount. And honestly, the Magic Bullet, this cup, you can make quite a large amount of dressing. So I do 98% of my dressings in the Magic Bullet. The other 2% I whisk with a fork. So I never use big blenders for dressings because I just find that they don't work as well. My belly popped my sweater off. Okay, so let's get started. I have a recipe, a grounded recipe on my phone I'm going to follow that I screenshotted from the meal plan. So I'm actually have an upcoming vegan, I haven't decided if it's going to be called a Jumpstart or a Kickstart. You can vote below if you want. With a free meal plan that's going to be going out. We are going to do it as a group. And one of the recipes for lunch is blueberry balsamic salad. So that's the recipe I'm going to follow for the dressing today. It has 1 tablespoon balsamic vinegar. And I could definitely use measuring spoons, but I like to risk it and wing it. 1 tablespoon of pure maple syrup. So that's a 1-to-1 ratio. 1/2 cup of frozen and thawed blueberries. This is the secret ingredient that makes it really healthy and really tasty. And then we have 1 tablespoon of hemp seeds. So I got these yesterday. I just ran out of the ones I had from Organic Matters. They're just a shelled hemp seeds, also called hemp hearts. So we got 1 tablespoon of that. I'm gonna be a little generous. What these do, besides adding essential fatty acids and protein, complete protein, and lots of really good nutrition, which they're also high in manganese, zinc, magnesium, phosphorus, folate, and B vitamins, iron. So they're really packed with a lot of nutrients. This is something that I make sure I add to Violet's diet. And I use them in my salad dressings a lot because it really thickens them without needing oil. So you could use an oil in place of hemp seeds if you don't have access to them. But for that nutrition profile that you're getting, you can't compare to oil that way. And it really thickens the blueberries, and the hemp seeds are going to make this dressing almost like a jelly. But once you mix it in with the salad, it's going to be so, so yummy. So we have that. We're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And again, you can feel free to modify and omit these recipes, and the more comfortable and confident you get with eating this way and cooking this way, you can definitely wing a lot more recipes and use what you have on hand, or use what you really enjoy. And then some pepper and salt if you want it. So I'll add a little bit of pepper. Just gonna add a sprinkle of black pepper, and then I'm gonna blend this up, and we will make a salad to go with this. The recipe for this one calls for romaine, zucchini, blueberries, and sunflower seeds, but I'm gonna do arugula, and what else am I gonna do? Peppers, sunflower seeds, and carrots, I think. I don't know. We'll see what I feel like once we get there. So all you do is put on the lid and blend for about 30 seconds. So, I might need to add, I'm gonna add a smidge of water to this. I don't have that in the recipe, but I will add it. I find when I do hemp seeds, I usually add water to thin it out a little bit. Otherwise, it's really thick. So I just added like maybe a tablespoon of water. So the trick with hemp seeds is to blend quite a while to break them up and break them down into the dressing. And you might have saw, I kind of shake the bullet a little bit while I'm making it to incorporate everything, if anything's getting stuck to the edges. And I just really, really enjoy that machine. This is not sponsored at all. It's just a machine I've used for years for dressings only. So that's the one thing that I use for my dressings. So I'm gonna do arugula in the bottom of this bowl. Maybe I'll clean up some stuff so you guys can see what I'm up to. Let's see, what else can we get rid of? So I'm gonna do the rest of my arugula in the bottom of this bowl here. So this is a big, what is it, 7-8 cups, I think. And then I'm gonna put the blueberries, thawed blueberries on top. You could do fresh for sure. I just didn't see any at the grocery store yesterday. It's not really the season for blueberries, and frozen is always yummy, I find. So alrighty, and then sunflower seeds. So I have these, catch it there, organic raw sunflower seeds. I find they go really good with blueberries. It's a nice addition. They complement each other well. And then I have this couple cucumbers already half started. So I'm just gonna cut that one in half and slice. Add that. Here's my pigs, the tip of that. So that is the first dressing, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about dressing. So let's do that right now. So that literally took me how many minutes to make? 3? Like not many at all. It's really good. And you could add whatever additional components you want. So if you're eating it for a full meal, if I'm doing something as a, like this is definitely like a side salad for me, where this would be more of a meal or a component to a meal. But being pregnant, breastfeeding, and active, I need really big salads. So that was one other thing I was going to show you for us to take out. Just give me 1 second. Another way to keep salads interesting for yourself, and this is going to sound really silly, but use different plates, different size plates and bowls. And so this is my typical salad plate that most of my Instagram pictures are taken on. It's like a foot wide and huge, and it has a bit of some depth to it. And I make a lot of my salads on here, and I find I enjoy eating them because it's all spread out really nicely and they're really delicious. So that's how I make my meal salads. And then if I'm doing a side, I use this size of bowl. compare this one. So we have two different sizes. So as you can see, this one's a little smaller but a little deeper. So I use that for side salads. And then if I'm doing a meal with a cooked component, this is like a deeper one and holds a lot of salad. So I'll make, you know, you can fit like a pound of salad in this, no problem. So I'll make a meal out of this one quite often, especially if I'm adding sweet potatoes or something cooked to my dish. And I just find that when I switch up the serving device, it actually keeps things interesting as well. So something to think about that I'm sure you've probably not considered because it's not a very common thing. And yeah, so if you're going for a meal and you're an active person and you're busy, you're gonna want to have way more volume than you think. So I could definitely add more to this, but just for today's purposes, I'll actually maybe add some pepper. Because you want to keep in mind, vegetables are high in fiber and nutrition, but they're not very high in calories. So you can get calories in the form of the dressing or the additions that you're making to the salad. So it just really depends on what you're after. So that takes me into my next point about the dressings, and then we're gonna wrap things up. I promise we're on perfect timing today. Okay, so if you're trying to lose weight or you're struggling with your health and you have a lot of health problems that are weight related or kind of that category, then you're going to want to focus on keeping your salads really bulky with vegetables, lower in calories, keeping your dressing slightly lower in calories, but filling yourself up so you're satisfied. So either of these dressings would be, or salads would be good for that purpose. If you're heavily detoxing and you're on like a healing journey where you're trying to heal your body from some serious ailment, so whether it's like a thyroid condition or you're doing some sort of cleansing protocol, you're going to want to stay more away from the heavier oil-based dressings, and you're going to want to do more of the vegetable and fruit-based dressings. So what I use for base a lot of the time is tomatoes, mango, fresh mango or dried mango that's reconstituted, avocado, what else do I use in dressings a lot? Cucumber, zucchini makes a really good dressing base. So if you're trying to cut back on heaviness of your dressing, what you can do is you could add something like zucchini to bulk up the volume amount of the dressing, but keep the calories and the density of it down. So it works really, really well. That's a trick that I use often. Because who doesn't like a nice saucy salad? You know, it's really funny that we're taught to do like, you know, just put a little sprinkle of vinegar on it or a squeeze of lemon, or a lot of people use like a fat-free dressing they buy at the store, which are really, really bad for your health and are not going to benefit you in any way. They're going to make your body work harder to break it down and figure out what to do with those foods, and they're just not a good option if you're eating salads. It kind of like defeats the whole purpose of having a salad if you're gonna put something that's really not good for you as the dressing. So that's why homemade is really the key to this, which I haven't even put my dressing on my arugula salad yet. So it's a beautiful purple color from the blueberries and smells really good. The balsamic vinegar and the Dijon mustard make it really, really yummy. So that's that guy. I can bring it closer. Let me see if we have any questions. All right, so that's that one. And then lemon and lime are really nice adding to dressings because it can help cut any sweetness or just add that acidic nature. So basically the trick to having a successful dressing, and you might want to write this down, I actually have a dressing cheat sheet. Maybe I'll post it in the comments. It's a download that has the different components to make a successful dressing. So it's an acidic acid, a fat, I don't even remember what it is. I'll post it in the comments. An acid, a fat, a base, but different components you add to make a successful dressing, and then have them all listed, kind of what falls in each category. So it can be really helpful to print that off and have it, especially if you don't have specific recipes to follow or you want to get a little bit creative in the kitchen. So I think that wraps up everything I want to say today. Salad in a jar, how to make quick, easy dressings, and how to make salads that you enjoy. So I hope you found that helpful, and I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me in my kitchen again this week. I will be back next Friday. If you have any suggestions on what you would like me to cover next week, you can leave it in the comment section of this video, and I will look at making that happen. I was thinking about doing ice cream, so like banana ice cream, frozen fruit sorbets, but the only thing is that the blender's a little bit loud, so I don't know if that would be an ideal thing to do on Facebook Live, maybe a filmed video that I can edit. But if you have any suggestions, let me know. Hey Violet, you want to come say bye? What, Neil? Oh. All right, are you gonna eat one of these? Which one? This one? Yeah, Violet's gonna have this one for lunch. I'm gonna have this one for lunch. What's Dad gonna eat?
Lemons.
Lemons. Dad's gonna have lemons. Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
You get lemons for lunch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we got it.
These, that one.
Can I have this, V?
Oh, no.
No?
Got it.
This again?
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to fill me up very much, is it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, 2. Okay, 2 should work. 2 will fill me up for sure.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Daddy, green.
What color is this?
Yeah, Daddy.
Yeah, what color is this?
Cat.
Carrot. What color?
Yeah, Bunny eat cat.
Bonnie eats carrots.
Yeah.
Do you know what color that is?
Wash cat.
Wash carrots. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So that is everything. I'll post that salad dressing cheat sheet, or whatever you want to call it, guide in the comment section, and you can take a look at that for more tips. And if you want the specific recipes that I'm following today, I will have that vegan jumpstart ready soon, and the date's posted for that, and you can get all those recipes for free. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. See you later. And say bye.
Okay.
All done.